a 6-3 decision on Wednesday, the Supreme Court upheld Tennessee's ban on gender-affirming care for trans minors, which is fucking bullshit. You're already grinding in this dangerous job, coming home day after day, covered in soot, and now the government is going to say you can't even do it with a great set of fucking tits? We support trans minors. Let's get into it. What a week. As a terrifying rampage was unfolding in Minnesota, and before the suspect had been caught, Republican Senator and shitposter Mike Lee from Utah ran to X to blame the left for the violence. Wrote Lee in one tweet with a photo of the suspect, "This is what happens when Marxists don't get their way." So close. New York City Mayor Andrew Cuomo is what happens when Marxists don't get their way. In reality, the suspect is a religious conservative who attended Trump rallies and whose other targets appeared to include dozens of prominent Democrats and abortion rights advocates. And since he remains in custody, I'll add this, not much of a dresser. Got him. An hour after that first tweet by a sitting U.S. Senator, Lee returned to seemingly blame or mock Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, writing over an image of the assassin, "Nightmare on Walt Street." Not the biggest problem with this post, but it's Nightmare on Elm Street. The term is Wall Street. He could have said Wolf of Wall Street, right? Wolf of Wall Street. That would have been, it would still have been incomprehensible and vile at the same time. Like the intent not clear, but obviously disgusting. But too many steps, just terrible structure. But some people can post, some people can't. I'm sure Mike Lee has many other talents, like ruining the vibe when his wife's friends are over. The post prompted outrage and calls for Lee's resignation. And on Monday, Minnesota Senator Tina Smith confronted Lee directly.
I wanted him to know about the consequence of his words. And I went to him and I said, your message on social media showed the image of the man who killed my friend. Potentially minutes before that happened, and your message was, this is what happens. You need to take responsibility and accountability for what you are saying and doing out there in the social media world.
Fuck him up, Tina. And Tina had support. She was playing good cop, Klobuchar cop. Because then Mike Lee had to face the final boss, which is looking Senator Amy Klobuchar in the eyes. After that second conversation, Lee deleted the post. Mike Lee was later spotted at a local church basement in D.C. attending a weekly meeting of SODAC, Survivors of Disappointing Amy Klobuchar. People come, they tell their stories, they feel connected to a community. I didn't have a fork. It's okay. Days before nuclear talks were set to resume in Oman, Israel launched an attack against Iran's nuclear facilities and leadership, setting off an escalating conflict in the region. Now we must hope for cooler heads to prevail over, it says here, Donald Trump, Benjamin Netanyahu, and Ayatollah Khamenei. So not great. Fuck. Someone could reason with Donald Trump, Benjamin Netanyahu, and Ayatollah Khamenei. On Tuesday, Trump declared on Truth Social that we now have complete and total control over the skies of Iran and called for Iran's unconditional surrender. No. That sucks. Stop it. We also learned that Trump was preparing for strikes against Iran, which the Pentagon described as defensive and which may also be a threat to pressure Iran to make concessions. So hopefully it's the kind of preparation that ultimately proves unnecessary, like bringing an umbrella on a hike or writing a segment for the drag queen you've booked. Very specific joke. Kills amongst the producers of Love It or Leave It. The possibility that Trump might drag the U.S. into Israel's war with Iran has opened up a massive rift among conservatives. In fact, here's Tucker Carlson opening up a massive rift in Ted Cruz.
How many people live in Iran, by the way?
I don't know the population.
At all?
No, I don't know the population.
You don't know the population of the country you seek to topple?
How many people live in Iran?
92 million.
Okay. Yeah,
How could you not know that?
Ted Cruz, so ignorant, not like us. Everybody in this room knows the population of Iran. Can't prove we didn't. It's like that. You can't. We all knew it. Fucking idiot. It's like that moment when Godzilla stops killing an entire metropolis full of people to turn his sights on killing another bigger, dumber beast, and it's like, go Godzilla, I guess. But it's nice to see Tucker Carlson take a break from sticking a feather in his cap and calling it macaroni. That really means I don't know what a Yankee Doodle Dandy is, but I'm pretty sure Tucker Carlson is a Yankee Doodle Dandy. The pair also sparred over Cruz's relationship with AIPAC, the pro-Israel lobbying group.
AIPAC, I wish were much more effective. Like, there are folks online who are in the fever swamp of terrified of AIPAC, and AIPAC...
I'm not terrified of AIPAC at all. You're the one who seems a little uncomfortable when I'm asking.
No, not uncomfortable at all.
I'm just asking.
Just kiss already. That exchange about AIPAC led to this heated moment.
You're not talking about Chinese, you're not talking about Japanese, you're not talking about the Brits, you're not talking about the French. The question, what about the Jews? What about the Jews?
Oh, I'm an anti-Semite now. It's interesting you're trying to derail my questions by calling me an anti-Semite, which you are.
I did not.
Of course you are. And rather than be honorable enough to say it right to my face, you are in a sleazy feline way implying it.
He wants to call him a bitch. It has the same energy of the moment when Hercule Poirot says, "Aha, poison, a woman's weapon." You know what I'm saying? Tucker Carlson isn't the only Trump supporter feeling betrayed. Podcaster Dave Smith had this to say about Trump's approach to Iran.
I supported him this last year. I apologize for doing so. It was a bad calculation. At the time, it seemed like the right one. Donald Trump should be impeached and removed for this. All of his supporters should turn on him. It's the absolute betrayal of everything that he ran and campaigned on and everything that he stood for.
But the most important thing that Donald Trump stands for is that he doesn't stand for anything. The 2024 election was like that riddle about the two doors. In front of one door was someone who always lies, and then in the other door, it was blocked by an incomprehensible old man yelling about NATO. Theo Von, who hosted Trump on his podcast last year and attended his inauguration, also spoke out against war with Iran.
I don't trust the Israel leader at all. I don't believe anything that guy says. And I don't think that our soldiers should have to go and defend stuff that they start.
Sadly, the clip ends there because Theo Von's pager exploded. This guy, he went to dinner with Ivanka and Jared a month ago. I love the idea of Theo Von calling Ivanka with his concerns. And she's like, "Oh, sorry, Theo. How do I put this? Jared and I aren't human in the way you're thinking about it." On Wednesday, Trump said this when asked whether the U.S. was moving closer to a strike against Iran.
You don't know. I may do it. I may not do it. I mean, nobody knows what I'm going to do.
It's helpful at a moment like this to accept the block theory of the universe, in which the present is an illusion and the future is just as determined as the past. Will we go to war with Iran? If we will, we already have. And if we don't, we never would. You know about the block theory? No? Okay. This idea is time is just a dimension. We just have the illusion that we're moving through it, but really it's all fully determined. In a sense, what's interesting is it's not that what we're doing right now is standing still. It's that we're moving through time at the speed of light. And in a sense, all of us are always moving at the speed of light. It's interesting to think about. Not funny, though. Make a note of that. And I have to say, Trump saying this, it's one of the few times where he's not bullshitting. Nobody ever knows what he's going to do. Remember when Trump reached into his pocket, pulled out a handful of Starbursts, and then threw them at German Chancellor Angela Merkel? Like, there's unpredictable, and then there's whatever the fuck that was. Speaking of not knowing what Trump is going to do hour to hour, last week the Trump administration abruptly directed ICE to pause immigration raids at farms, hotels, and restaurants.
Our farmers are being hurt badly by, they have very good workers. They've worked for them for 20 years. They're not citizens, but they've turned out to be, great. And we're going to have to do something about that. We can't take farmers and take all their people and send them back because they don't have maybe what they're supposed to have.
We got to find the person who's doing this. But of course, Trump immediately reversed himself once Stephen Miller and fucking Kristi Noem got to him, with ICE officials telling staff on Monday that agents must continue conducting raids at farms, hotels, and restaurants. This is what I would call the dating in your early 20s strategy of governing. Talk through it logically with people you trust, have the breakthrough revelation, and then make the exact wrong decision 3 days later. The president reportedly did have this about face. What happened was he had been contacted directly by Agriculture Secretary Brooke Rollins, who bypassed Miller and Noem to kind of relay what she was hearing from these kind of big agricultural companies, I suppose. And then, of course, Trump just says the last thing he fucking heard. And then Stephen Miller, I guess, gets back on the fucking yoke. And now we're back to where we were. Love It or Leave It is brought to you by Planned Parenthood Federation of America. Your body is your own. Planned Parenthood believes everyone should have the freedom to make decisions about their health, including abortion, whenever and wherever they need it, today and every day. Planned Parenthood is committed to ensuring that everyone has the information and resources they need to make their own decisions about their bodies. Whether you need STI testing, a treatment, birth control, gender-affirming care, cancer screenings, or abortion, Planned Parenthood is there for you and all of us. But some lawmakers want to force their personal beliefs on everybody else. They're pushing bills to block people from getting sexual and reproductive care. They're cutting access to reproductive health care, trying to block coverage for birth control, promoting abstinence only until marriage programs, and attacking Planned Parenthood. They're trying to defund Planned Parenthood through the Trump bill right now.
Bad.
Right now. The government wants more control over our bodies, decisions, and futures. Right now, millions of people are at risk of losing access to care. Planned Parenthood believes healthcare is a human right. And together with people like you and me, they're fighting every day to build a future we deserve, one where everyone can get the care they need, no matter who they are or where they live. Supporters like you power this work. Donate to support Planned Parenthood now at plannedparenthood.org/protect. That's plannedparenthood.org/protect. On Monday, Stephen Miller busted out multiple over-the-top tweets about sanctuary cities, including this one. Sanctuary cities are engaged in a criminal conspiracy to obstruct, defy, and dismantle the federal laws of the United States in order to end the sovereignty of the United States. This is the crisis at hand. And I, for one, would just like to say...
Jonathan?
Oh!
Jonathan Lovett?
Yeah. Yes?
You left your spoon in the sink again.
Okay, guys, I just need to tell you all something. I did turn my guest house into an Airbnb,
right,
and it was rented by Stephen Miller.
Correct.
And I didn't want you to know. I tried to cancel. Really hope that nobody would find out.
Well, these people have found out, Jonathan. Your secret's out. All right? I've posted a tweet about your spoon calumny, and I just wanted to make sure that you saw it, that all of you saw it.
Well, you know what? I actually haven't because I'm kind of in the middle of something.
Well, we're all in the middle of something, Jonathan. I'm in the middle of transitioning fully into Nosferatu.
Oh, I see it. I just want you to, however you identify. Okay, thank you. Thank you for this.
Take that disgusting implement. Lucky for you, I printed out the tweet.
Oh,
and I
wow.
brought it with me.
Okay.
Thanks.
Okay.
I also asked them to put it on the teleprompter. This is my tweet. Me, Stephen Miller. The unchecked decay in that sink is not merely an oversight. It represents moral collapse. A civilization cannot endure when basic duties are flouted with impunity by remorseless contributors to filth, decadence, and disorder. Jonathan.
Is that it?
Yeah, that's it.
All right, thanks, Stephen.
Yeah, no
I guess there's nothing to do about the fact that you're here, so I'll just kind of put up with it.
Okay. And I should also mention that your towels have quite a mustiness.
All right, get out of here.
Not nearly musty enough for my liking.
Fucking Stephen Miller. Boo! Hope that doesn't happen 2 more times. On Tuesday, during an Armed Services Committee hearing, Secretary of Not Understanding that the movie Starship Troopers is a parody, Pete Hegseth, went toe-to-toe with Elizabeth Warren over deploying troops in U.S. cities.
If the Supreme Court orders you to remove troops from American cities, will you do so?
As I've said, Senator, I don't believe district courts should determine national security policy, but if the Supreme Court rules on a topic, we will abide by that.
Obeying the rule of law. I'll drink to that. Hegseth continued to be grilled by Congress this week over his leaked war chat and the ongoing reports of mismanagement and chaos within the Pentagon. Here's Senator Tammy Duckworth raking him over the coals.
You are blowing through money like my fellow cadets and I did in our first Liberty after basic camp. Luckily, I didn't end up with a questionable tattoo.
Only an awesome tattoo, continued Duckworth. Check this out, she said, before pulling up her sleeve to reveal 2 Tasmanian devils kissing. It's fucking awesome. And this wasn't even the best Duckworth moment. She pressed Hegseth on using the military not just for defense purposes, but for supporting the Homeland Security Department's immigration crackdown.
And if you want to be the DHS secretary, maybe you can apply for that job when you're fired from this one due to your incompetence.
Over my dog's dead body, said DHS Secretary Kristi Noem. Hawaii Senator Mazie Hirono had this helpful observation.
If ordered by the president, I'm going to ask you once again, to shoot peaceful protesters in the legs, would you carry out such an order from the president?
Senator, as I've said before, of course, I reject the premise of your question and the characterization that I would be given or are given unlawful orders. It's all meant to attempt to smear the commander-in-chief, and I won't fall for it.
Considering that the president in his first term actually ordered such a thing, it is not a premise that you can reject.
Oh, you've caught me in a contradiction? I'm Pete Hegseth. We're on the brink of war with Iran. There are U.S. service members on the streets of an American city. I'm a weekend cable news anchor whose previous management is running not 1 but 2 nonprofits into the ground between marital affairs and displays of public drunkenness. It is inconceivable that I am in this job, and yet here I am. And where is the fucking waiter?
Jonathan!
Oh.
Jonathan!
Oh, no.
Is that a cheer? Sounds like a cheer to me.
You boo him. This is Stephen Miller.
Thank you. I love it. I love it. I eat it up with a spoon. Jonathan, I've returned. Friends of Jonathan, it's me, Stephen Miller. I've returned.
Oh, God. I can't believe this is happening a second time. That stinks.
It might even happen a third time, Jonathan, if you don't
watch
watch your mouth.
It could potentially happen a third time.
All right?
It could potentially happen a third time.
Now, Jonathan, I want to make you aware of something.
What?
Tonight is indeed trash night.
Oh, shit.
And said trash has not been taken out, Jonathan.
I will do it when I get home.
I've heard it before, Jonathan, and it is far too late for those excuses. I've printed out yet another tweet.
Ah, fuck.
I'm going to read my tweet again. All right? The breakdown of observance around civil rituals such as trash night reflect a larger erosion of the American way of life. We are drowning in the garbage of left-wing disunity, the abeyance of basic precepts of fairness, and our blood poisoned by the microplastics of Marxism. The trash must be taken out, and by trash, I mean both non-white immigrants,
all right,
and also my protein bar wrappers, and so on, etc., or else all is lost.
Stephen.
Yes?
You gotta get out of here, man.
No.
I thought your rental ended yesterday.
Technically it did, but I extended it for another day. I wanted to take the TMZ tour. I saw Machine Gun Kelly. He looks fantastic.
God, I fucking hate that guy. Guys, boo Stephen Miller again. Sucks. Sucks seeing that guy. Hate having him in my Airbnb. It's a bummer. On Monday, Eric Trump and Donald Trump Jr. announced the launch of a Trump-branded phone and cell service company. When I first heard Trump Mobile, I immediately thought, I guess he is mostly. Not sure about the ad slogan they landed on. Can you fear me now? I'm sorry. TrumpMobile.com posted images of the all-gold T1 complete with an American flag. The phone comes with preloaded useful text shortcuts like, meet me at the Capitol and I have a governor in my trunk. Speaking of bad ideas, in a 6-3 decision on Wednesday, the Supreme Court upheld Tennessee's ban on gender-affirming care for trans minors, which is fucking bullshit. You're already grinding in this dangerous job, coming home day after day, covered in soot, and now the government is going to say you can't even do it with a great set of fucking tits? We support trans minors. These trans minors keep our fucking lights on. Disgusting. Hard job. Let's see why we're standing in the way of them getting a nice pair of yayas. Make them happy. Grinding out for coal all the time. It sucks. Going down there, not feeling like themselves. Bullshit. The ruling is sure. The ruling is sure to embolden Republican state lawmakers to pass similar laws to prevent doctors and parents, along with teens, from making decisions about their own care. Not that they needed emboldening. Since 2021, 27 states have enacted laws that restrict gender-affirming treatments for trans youth. Great work. Trans teens will keep existing. You're just going to make our pride parades a little bigger and the staff of your Panera Breads a little less cool. We'll take them. Love It or Leave It brought to you by Hiya. Typical children's vitamins are basically candy in disguise, filled with 2 teaspoons of sugar, unhealthy chemicals, and other gummy additives growing kids should never eat. That's why Hiya created a superpower chewable vitamin. Hiya is made with 0 sugar and 0 gummy additives, yet it tastes great and is perfect for picky eaters. Hiya fills in the most common gaps in modern children's diets to provide the full body nourishment our kids need with a yummy taste they'll love. It's non-GMO, vegan, dairy-free, allergy-free, gelatin-free, and nut-free. Every single batch is third-party tested, so you know the product is safe and nutritious. Hiya is designed for kids 2 and up and sent straight to your door, so parents have one less thing to worry about. John?
Yes. Charlie loves his Hiya vitamins, takes them all the time. I've got to make sure he gets all his vitamins and nutrients since he's on a spaghetti-only diet that he has imposed on himself. But he enjoys Hiya, and it's not super sugary, and, it's everything he needs, so we love it.
And are you tired of battling with your kids to eat their greens? Hiya now has Kids Daily Greens Plus Superfoods, a chocolate-flavored greens powder designed specifically for kids, packed with 55-plus whole food ingredients to support brain power development and digestion. Just scoop, shake, and sip with milk or any non-dairy beverage for a delicious and nutritious boost your kids will actually enjoy. We've worked out a special deal with Hiya for their best-selling children's vitamin. Receive 50% off your first order. To claim this deal, you must go to hiyahealth.com/loveit. This deal is not available on their regular website. Go to hiyahealth.com/LOVETT and get your kids the full body nourishment they need to grow into healthy adults. Utah, which passed a ban in 2023, just got back the results from a study commissioned under the same law, which was meant to show that such care was harmful. Instead, Utah's own study concluded that gender-affirming care for trans youth led to positive mental health outcomes. Now, in response, this is interesting, Utah legislators nodded solemnly and said they learned a valuable lesson. No more studies. Huge blow, huge mistake. But of course, conservatives are ignoring the study. It's like RFK Jr. ignoring vaccine science. They don't want to see the truth. When you've got a warehouse full of ivermectin, every problem looks like a horse with a parasite. Meanwhile, Republicans last week made a last-minute change to Trump's Big Beautiful Bill before passing it in the House. Now, in the original Big Beautiful Bill in the House, there was a ban on gender-affirming care for youth on Medicaid. But they just struck for minors so that it became a ban on Medicaid covering any transition care, period. That would affect hundreds of thousands of Americans. There's not that many trans fucking people. There's like 275,000 or so on Medicaid. A lot of the states already have bans or don't provide coverage for gender-affirming care through Medicaid. So this is really a punitive way to target a small subset of trans people on Medicaid who live in mostly blue states. So that's what they're getting up to. But that's how this always goes. You say it's aimed at children, but the reality is it's about adults. That's how we wind up with the vilest shit imaginable, like bans on trans healthcare or whatever the fuck is happening with Labubus.
Jonathan?
Oh, shit.
Jonathan!
Yeah, okay.
Jonathan!
Fuck, get it.
Let me hear it, please. Let me hear it. I love it. No, I love it.
That's his fucking king.
I like it.
That's
I
his
actually
king.
enjoy it. I
That's
feast
his
off
king.
it. Ouch. For some reason, that hurt. Now, Jonathan, the guest house toilet is clogged. Full, like bad.
How did you already drive to my house and back, let alone take a shit? You were here 4 minutes ago.
Time is a liberal fiction, Jonathan.
All right.
Anyway, here's the tweet that I wrote while I was on the toilet.
Great.
We all remember an America where toilets did not clog. But that America is gone, replaced by a crime ring of foreign-born plumbers who seek to humiliate us and marry our fertile wives.
Interesting.
This nation is threatened by a toilet catastrophe, and if we do not flush our radical socialist enemies down the toilet...
You know what?
Yes?
That's enough, you little freak.
What?
I wrote a tweet.
You did?
I wrote a tweet addressing this exact situation before the show.
Great. But did you print it out, Jonathan?
I did print it out.
Oh.
Yeah. All right, here we go.
Let's hear it.
First of all, you clog that toilet. And I have a great plumber. Because I have to. Second, you are the perfect person to represent the Trump administration.
Thank you.
Your little movement was on the outside. Look at you getting angrier and angrier, crueler, fantasizing about the day you'll be in charge, and now you're there, and still no one respects you.
Ouch.
And it also sounds like your wife left you for Elon Musk.
Well, I can't comment on that, but yes, she did. And why do you think I'm in your guest house? It's because my wife left me for Elon Musk. That immigrant.
Words have meaning.
Some.
You can describe Los Angeles as a war zone or immigrants as an invasion or standing up for our neighbors as a rebellion, but it doesn't make it true. And nobody buys what you're saying because you don't know people. Look, you hate us.
I do.
You grew up here, but you don't know this city at all. You still think you're still the same lonely loser from Santa Monica High School. And the only reason someone as broken as you could get anyone anywhere near a position of power is because no one of any quality would get near Donald Trump.
Jonathan, you cut me to the quick. I'm going to write an Airbnb review that absolutely destroys you, Jonathan.
Hit me, freak.
I'll hit you, freak. Here's my review. 0 stars. The toilet was clogged and the wallpaper was gay.
C+ Santa Monica fascist Stephen Miller, everybody. That felt good. Boo, yay. The wallpaper is pretty gay. It's got pomegranates on it. That's some gay-ass wallpaper. On Thursday, Karen Reed was found not guilty of murdering her boyfriend, Boston police officer John O'Keefe. The case became a TikTok sensation, with many convinced that Karen Reed had been framed. And you know what? Actually, how many people here were following it closely? Interesting. You're not too good for true crime? Too good for court TV? You fucking snot-nosed, New Yorker reading, fucking NPR tote, Poindexter, pointy-headed fucking losers. We gotta get a better audience. This fucking sucks. Yeah. Anyway, and finally, an Italian museum released security footage seeking the identity of a tourist who pretended to sit on a crystal-encrusted replica of a historic chair only to fall and crush it beneath him. Oh! Wow, a lot of angles. Why are they blurring his face? Shame. You're trying to find him, but you're blurring his face, not trying too hard, Italy. Now, here's the question for all of you. How many of you, be honest. You can lie to me, it's worthless. Don't lie to yourselves. You telling anybody? Or are you walking the fuck out of that museum? What are you gonna go find a docent? You're gonna go find somebody and tell them? Imagine that conversation. Hi, I'm Arnold. From outside Seattle. I fucked up that priceless work of art. Just flagging. Would you say something? No, I'm trying to put it back together. You think you're gonna put it back together? I think you're walking out. You're walking out as fast as you fucking can and just starting a new life. You get out. Many were furious at the tourists for making such an obvious blunder, trusting Italian manufacturing. Even more troubling, Italian officials are also seeking the identity of this dog who seems to be holding up the entire weight of the Tower of Pisa. Coming up. Yeah, let's leave it on a visual joke for our fucking podcast. For the people at home, there's an adorable dog holding up the Tower of fucking Pisa. Holding up the Tower of Pisa.